Travel schedule in today's matchup. They're continuing to soldier on without the services card for Chris Kaman.
I hear you, Kevin, but can rise up and show the fortitude necessary to play through the injuries and still come out on top.
Now, there's probably a lot of sympathy these teams have for each other. I mean, they're going through the same thing at the same time. So injuries a major factor in this game.
So here's Miami's starting group. They've got Kevin Seraphin, West out there with Anthony. Then there's Tim Hardaway Jr. And it's Henry in at the point. Randall no good.
You know, one thing you have to give Coach Eric Spoelstra credit for is he's not wedded to just one approach. I like his ability to be flexible. You remember after the 2011 finals, for example, he really went back to the drawing board and changed Miami's offense to their small ball approach, but also wanted to get LeBron inside more. The result has been a couple of championship rings.
You talk about Coach Spoelstra staying open to new ideas. He spent time in the summer studying football coaches and their techniques.
Yeah, kind of an interdisciplinary interest in greatness. And, you know, that's what goes into building a champion. Spoelstra, very intense and focused, always trying to find an edge, even if he has to kind of step outside the box a little bit.
The first free throw is good. When you get a team that can play defense like the Grizz and put them in front of a friendly crowd, they can be pretty scary.
They really do tend to feed off of each other, the team and this crowd. It's a big part of why the Grizzlies have been so tough at home for so long.
And for the Grizzlies last year, very tough at home because of that defense. 27 wins here.
Here's Henry. No good on the three. And here are the Grizzlies now. Their last game, a win against San Antonio, looking to carry that into this one.
You know, so often in the NBA we talk about how you have to earn your points the hard way, but it didn't seem like that was the case. Everything came pretty easily.
Too many of their points came the easy way, Steve. You're right. On dunks and layups against a defense that didn't really put up much resistance. And the Grizzlies might not be the best team in the West, but they are the team that nobody wants to play because of how good their defense is and how well they play in this building. Heads up play there, guys, on the assist and the finish.
So the Heat, their last game, a win against the Bucks in Milwaukee.
And they did just what you have to do as a road team, guys. They never allowed any momentum to build up against them. Seemed like every time they took a punch, they had a counter.
You'll like this, Steve. Reverse spurtability, we call that. They had any defensive lapses, they immediately made up for it with some instant offense.
We're just about 2 minutes into the first quarter. Here's Seraphin. And again, Miami with the triple. Here's Oladipo. He had 13 points in the win against San Antonio.
And his work on the glass, certainly noteworthy. And he contributed in a number of ways.
Now, here's Oladipo. The pass to Collison. He's looking for D'Alembert and finds him. Poked away. Stolen by Seraphin. Hardaway passes to Anthony. That drops, and it comes off the assist from Hardaway. Anthony's got his first points of the night.
You can't give him that shot. I mean, a few open looks are all it takes, and he can really get rolling. Well, with the Knicks, skilled scorer, very good shooter from deep, and the ability to put the ball on the floor and get out in transition. I think he's got a chance to be an excellent player.
Now, here's Oladipo, averaging 12 points a game. Back to Collison. Some nice passing there by Memphis. 5 on the clock. Buries it from three-point range. Collison's got his first 3 points of the game.
There's a chance he could have a big game if they don't D him up more tightly on the perimeter.
And that one's good, Henry.
Right back at you. They immediately get those 3 points back.
Trading punches, that's how you answer.
To the middle. The drive by Collison. Here's Randall. Shot is off. Anthony with the defensive effort. The Heat leading by 5. Fires from the wing. It's Hardaway, that time on the assist by Seraphin.
Boy, they've settled into their offense very quickly here today.
Yeah, they're zoned in, making the most out of their possessions here.
Collison kicks to D'Alembert. He feeds it to Randall. A fadeaway. That's good.
Well, he could have earned some style points there, but he really doesn't need to use the fadeaway when he's that wide open.
Here's the three. Oladipo pulls it down. The Grizzlies have gone 50% from the field to this point, 4 of 8. Collison dishes to Randall. Outside Collison. Kicks it to Randall. Oladipo against Hardaway. Oladipo, the pass to Dallenberg. Oladipo, good.
Boy, nice work inside. Tough to get that shot over a big defender like that.
No, that takes skill and creativity, Steve, particularly on the release to make sure he doesn't get a hand on it.
So Memphis going with almost an entire new group here. Josh McRoberts has checked in for Dallenberg. Wright comes in for Randall. Jason Terry, he's checked in for Victor Oladipo. And Sessions subbed in for Darren Collison. And a new group in for the Heat. Vonleh's checked in for Kevin Seraphin. Payne comes in for West. Jeff Taylor, he's checked in for Anthony. And it's Brown in for Tim Hardaway Jr. And the dunk by James.
The one-hand slam is so sweet when it's his hand doing the slam.
Oh, yeah, he is so smooth, even on a power finish like that.
Well, that's part of what makes him unique, that combination of power and polish. Absolutely on fire from behind the arc.
Yeah, that's where he's getting his points.
Pass to Sessions. Feeds to McRoberts. He dishes it to Sessions. To the inside. And stolen by Payne. One-on-one here. Here's Brown. And the officials call a traveling violation. The Grizzlies trail by 7. And Sessions kicks to James. Poked away. Just 2 seconds between shot clock and game clock. In transition, here comes Miami. Brown's got the ball and stolen by Wright. And the dunk by James.
Guys, that's simply superb. Ball pressure, a run out, and then a dunk in transition.
Exactly, Clark, what they wanted. The aggressive defense to lead to.
Yeah, points in transition.
That's why you want to make the other team feel uncomfortable handling the ball, because you can get easy points out of it at the other end. I don't know how they're going to keep this pace up. Both teams on fire here early.
And playing the game on rollerblades, too.
Now here's Terry. This flight. And the first quarter is in the books. Second about ready to get underway. And when you consider how the Heat are doing, Stephen Clark, what are your thoughts?
Well, I'll tell you what, I like what I've seen from this club defensively. They're forcing a lot of turnovers with their quick hands and ability to play the passing lanes.
Well, you talk about quick hands, but I think it's the mindset of being aggressive and then obviously being active with the hands, tracing that ball so you could come up with deflections that may lead to steals.
All fueled up and ready to go. Let's reset the lineups courtesy of Gatorade as the second quarter gets going. So on the floor for Memphis, LeBron James is out there with Josh McRoberts. Then it's Terrell Wright. Then there's Ramon Sessions. And it's Terry in at the 2.
Adrian Payne, a senior forward out of Michigan State, 6'10", got a 7'4" wingspan. You like his combination of shooting stroke in particular.
Here's Henry following the basket by Terrell Wright, and the shot is good.
Kevin, he's definitely making his presence felt here in the first half. He's been very effective so far.
Here's LeBron. That falls. Great assist by Ramon Sessions. Sessions has got 3 assists tonight. You and I called a lot of this guy's games in college. Adrian Payne from Michigan State has overcome his share of adversity, certainly losses in his family, and he dealt with mononucleosis during last season.
Yeah, and considering all of that, Kevin, it's quite impressive he was able to play as well as he did, but he's made a habit of overcoming challenges, and anytime you can work through adversity, got to help you as a pro.
And it's the Heat on the break. Shoots. And it's Miami with another. And a chance now to catch up on some numbers here. The hustle stats for the Heat.
Boy, they've really amped up the pressure at the defensive end, guys, and have piled up the steals in the early going.
Well, the other thing I like is defensively they're causing turnovers, and that's allowing them to get into transition.
It's Brown on the wing. Again, the Heat good for 2.
Very clever passing. That was just beautifully done.
And we're about 2 minutes into the second quarter here. So timeout called here. The first for Memphis. This game against Miami here, their first look at the Heat.
And, of course, 2 teams in opposite conferences. They're only going to play twice, one on each team's floor.
So Memphis going with almost an entire new group here. Samuel Dalembert, he's checked in for Josh McRoberts. Randall comes in for James. Victor Oladipo, he's checked in for Darrell Wright. And it's Collison in for Jason Terry. And a new group getting ready for Miami. Kevin Seraphin, he's checked in for Vonleh. West comes in for Payne. Carmelo Anthony's checked in for Shannon Brown. Hardaway is subbed in for Xavier Henry. They get it back. Collison dishes to Sessions. Memphis moving that ball around. Taken away by Anthony. And it's the Heat on the break. Here's West. And another basket for Miami. I'll keep talking about, just the lack of meetings between these two teams from different conferences. And probably isn't a whole lot of hostility between them. Not a lot of emotion, at least right now. All that being said, Clark, it still makes, I think, for a very interesting matchup.
I'd say so. I mean, these West versus East contests give us a chance to see the style differences between the conferences, which are sometimes much more pronounced than you might think.
That's a real good point, because there are different feel, different kind of players, ways rosters are made up, and so
no question about it.
The Grizzlies trail by 13. Collison, the pass to Dalembert. The wide open look here for Oladipo. His 3-pointers off the mark.
The clear look at the hoop. He doesn't miss many of those.
Deep 2 from Anthony. The shot's good on the assist by West. Anthony's got his second basket of the game.
Boy, they look helpless defensively.
Collison kicks to Randall. Just under 3.5 minutes played here in the second quarter. Puts it up from 12. Carmelo Anthony comes up with the rebound. And here are the Heat now. They're on a 14-4 run right now.
Well, 2 seasons ago, the Heat were rolling. They won a franchise record 66 games. 27 of those came consecutively. Last season, they managed the regular season. They knew they had to pace themselves in an effort to try to win a 3rd straight championship.
And last season, I'd say, guys, the Heat more or less just conceded that #1 seed to the Pacers.
Yeah, almost like a marathon runner. They just didn't want to burn out early, so they just kind of found their pace throughout the season. And they weren't worried too much about the home seed. They were concerned more with their own health. And I thought Eric Spoelstra handled all of those dynamics perfectly. Risky shot there. Size-wise, he easily comes out on the short end of the stick, so to speak.
With the nice high release, he had no problem getting it off and knocking it down.
Now here's Anthony. He had 34 points in the win against the Bucks in Milwaukee. Great D on that shot, and it's off the mark. And the officials signal the backcourt violation. Not very careful there.
And a chance here to check out some stats on Lamont Sessions. How this season has been coming along for him. He's averaging 10 points per game, 4 assists, and 3 rebounds. I'm sure he's happy with the way things have been going. Those are some nice, steady numbers.
Well, how could he be unhappy about him, Steve? He'd probably like to see just a little more of an uptick in him, just the same, but nothing to not be content about there.
Here's Collison after the made shot from Carmelo Anthony. Collison's got his 4th assist with that last one here tonight. Miami leading by 15. Shoots. No good. Grizzlies have gotten exactly half their shots to go down here in the second. 5 of 10. Randall with the bucket. Randall's got 4 points now in the quarter.
8 of the last 10 points at that end of the court have been scored on very high percentage shots in the paint.
And it's not necessarily strategic, Clark. It's just a matter of playing with more heart. Got to play hard, guys.
Now a look at the hottest teams in the league. These squads have knocked down everything in the last 10 games. #1, the Heat.
It's due to better shot selection lately, Kevin. They're taking their time to make sure the shots they take go in. Really good self-discipline there.
He'd have gone 7 of 11 from the field in the second quarter. And here's Anthony from the arc. That's good. Anthony's got 9 points. Carmelo Anthony, one of the league's elite scorers, no doubt.
No question about it, Kevin. I mean, really versatile as a threat. He can back you down because he's strong. He's a lot stronger than people realize. He can bump and grind with the best of them, and he can face you up. He's got the quick release. He can pull up off the dribble. He can catch and shoot. He can post. He can get to the offensive glass. And I think he's become a much more consistent threat from long range as well. So that's why he's got a career scoring average of around 25 a game.
LeBron, he's checked in for Sessions. And Miami also making a switch. Henry's checked in. LeBron against Hardaway. And it's West in the corner. That drops and it comes off the assist from Hardaway. And that's now 7 points for David West.
Well, you look at Carmelo Anthony, his quick release. Defenders have to play him close, but then he has the quickness and the strength, along with the ball handling, to get by his man and get right to the rim. No question, he's really difficult to cover.
They have repeatedly probed inside in the first half, guys, and it's paid dividends.
Yeah, it sure has, Clark. I mean, with as many points as they've gotten in the paint, they really haven't had to do much on the perimeter.
I wasn't sure if he'd be able to keep it up, but he has. Wow. And the question for Carmelo Anthony is a hard one to answer. When will he win that first title? He might not. There's no guarantees that just because you're a great player that you're going to win an NBA title. He was the 3rd pick in 2003. He is the only player among those top 5 picks yet to win a ring. I'm sure it's a motivating factor, but it takes more than motivation to win one of those rings.
Dallenberg with a screen on Anthony. The drive by James, banked in off the glass. James has got 4 points in the quarter.
The second he got around the pick and shook his man, it was straight to the bucket for the easy deuce. Very, very well done.
And so a pretty lopsided game through the first half. Miami ahead, up 19. And a chance now to send you over to Doris Burke, standing by on the sideline. Doris?
Yes, Kevin, I'm here with LeBron, and you obviously have been very productive. How pleased are you with where you're getting the basketball and how you're scoring?
I'm very pleased with my individual performance right now, but not so pleased with how I'm trying to help our teammates. I got to do a better job of trying to get our teammates in the flow, as well as keep myself in a good groove too. So hopefully I can do a better job of that in the second half.
LeBron, thank you. Kevin, he can't do it by himself.
All right, Doris, thank you, and stay with us, folks. We'll be back just after halftime to get the third quarter underway. Well, it's been a one-sided affair so far through the first 2 quarters, but there's plenty of time to mount a comeback.
Looking at the game for Henry, 25 points, and he's buried a ton of three-pointers in this game, too.
Yeah, it's hard to keep track of just how many of those he's hit.
There were a lot of great things Steve accomplished last year by the Heat, both on offense and defense, but at times people would overlook that defense.
Well, they played tremendous defense. I mean, maybe not as consistently as they have in the past, but, to be as good as they were, you have to be great defensively, and I think sometimes that goes underappreciated.
Here's who Eric Spoelstra is starting the second half with. Hardaway is out there with Xavier Henry. Then there's West. Then it's Kevin Seraphin. And it's Anthony in at the 3 spot.
Well, you knew he'd win that race.
Definitely. I mean, that's what you call early offense. The numbers don't really jump out at you and pop at you regarding the Heat's defense last year. But, sometimes it's not necessarily what you do, but when you do it. And the Heat were pretty good at getting big stops when they needed to.
Here's Collison. The Heat getting the bucket. Anthony on the double team. the drive by LeBron. Oladipo dishes to Randall, and David West gets the whistle that time. That's his first foul.
First personal foul. First team foul.
Second half of basketball, just over a minute played so far. Randall with the ball. West picks him up from the corner, and that one hits back iron.
Well, a lot of the Heat's numbers might be skewed because they played a lot of high-scoring games at a high tempo. But when you have the athletic talent that they have, you better believe they're tough defensively.
LeBron outside. Here's the three. The offensive rebound. Randall with the bucket. Randall's got 8 points.
Some defensive breakdowns are starting to show up now. Their last 4 buckets allowed have come from very close range.
Giving up these easy chances is going to do wonders for their confidence.
That would be 4 in a row for them now as they have come racing out of the gate to start this second half.
The drive by Collison. Dallenberg. Oh, and that one, no question, powered it down. And that's how you exploit a gap in the D, I guess, huh?
Yes, sir. No soft finish there. Major power.
Wow. He knows an opportunity for the highlight reel when he sees one. All the buckets he's poured in today have put them in a terrific position heading into the stretch.
Now a timeout called by Memphis.
Well, I never got to compete in a dunk contest, but I've seen more than a few at All-Star Weekend. It's just amazing what players today can do in the air. And still, I think my favorite dunker of all time was Julius Erving. Watching him in transition was just a thing of beauty.
Looking at who's out there now for the Grizzlies. Josh McRoberts has checked in for Dallenberg. Wright comes in for Randall. And Sessions subbed in for Darren Collison. Wright, the pass to McRoberts. Tipped away. And so it looks like the Grizzlies will retain possession here. Clark dunks are becoming increasingly more complex, whether they're in game or during events.
Well, the athleticism of the players is just off the charts over the last 2+ decades. So just about everybody, no matter what their size, when you look at NBA guys, can throw it down. And, you know, Steve mentioned his favorite dunker. Mine would have to be probably Dominique Wilkins. His two-handed double clutch, sideways tilt.
Oh, yeah, my gosh, you can go on and on. There's some
sure could.
Acrobatic guys, high flyers for sure.
Exceptional play to take the bump and still get it up and down.
Yeah, way to stay with it and look to finish the play right there.
Ramon Sessions, a 6'3" combo guard. He's actually pretty good guarding shooting guards. A good strength, especially in his legs, which allows him to stay in front of offensive players.
And Sessions, for his size at the guard position, has been a pretty good rebounder over his career. I think in a lot of ways he plays a little bigger than he is.
Now let's go to Doris Burke. Doris?
Yes, Kevin, Memphis coach Dave Yeager paid dues for years coaching in the minor leagues. But he did more than coach. He was the GM, ticket vendor, business manager, and half. He said he loved the passion and spirit of that work. But there were also tough times. Guys, those struggles helped prepare him for where he is today.
A long road, but he's here now. Thanks, Doris. And Sessions may be better guarding too, Steve, but offensively he's best with the ball in his hands.
Yeah, decent shot, spotting up from the outside, but at the end of the day, he's best creating off the dribble.
Right for three. The shot's good. Sessions making him pay. Wright's got his second bucket of the night.
That's like a layup for him. He's just wide open out there.
Well, a great rebounding small forward can give any team an X factor. Let's look at a few guys who have been playing that role over the course of the last month. LeBron James, second.
And maybe they're not the biggest or strongest players in the front court, but that hasn't limited their ability to get in there, mix it up, and come up with a lot of rebounds night in and night out.
Yeah, you mentioned their lack of size and strength compared to the post players around the NBA, but I've always found that the best rebounders usually aren't the biggest guys. They're the most tenacious, and they have excellent timing and the ability to get off their feet multiple times quicker than their opponent.
And he banks in the layup. LeBron's got 4 this quarter.
I think they need to get much more disruptive defensively. They can't just keep allowing these easy baskets.
I agree. They need more energy in the post, maybe some double teaming. They've got to get their defense in gear.
Now here's LeBron. 16 points for him. Sessions, no good.
Pretty good defense there. I mean, that's a shot that he can make, but they really challenged him. Memphis really revitalized their season late in the year, but they dropped a lot of games against the East early on.
And right, here we go. To the inside, looking for Terry. He gets it there. And the baseline jumper, no good. The Grizzlies would rally later in the year, Clark, as you were saying, some losses to the East last year that they would want back.
Yeah, no question about it. Every team in the league wants games back they lose. You can't recapture them, though. Memphis, no different. They had some injury issues, though. Mark Gasol out for a while, and that really disrupted their rhythm. But late in the season, as you said, they were right on track.
And another miss by Memphis. Miami's gotten 12 of their points from long range in the third quarter, going 4 of 5 shooting. Brown, good.
Tell you what, until this defense gets out and defends the three-point line, I mean, it's going to be a parade.
Yeah, we've already seen 3 in a row from out there.
Now here's James, averaging 32 points a game. Goes up.
Oh! Line through the air. Yes, sir.
Oh. 15 seconds left in the third quarter. Sessions up top, averaging 10 points per contest. Here's Taylor. Pushes it down to finish the break.
Another bucket, adding to their lead. They've been the better team in every facet of the game.
And to turn in this kind of performance in an opponent's building, that's really impressive.
From half court, can't get it to go. And as we conclude the third quarter, pretty much a blowout. It's been a one-sided affair. It's the... Here's Hardaway. Terrell Wright is up there with Randall. Then it's Smith. Then there's Isaiah Cannon. And it's D'Alembert in at the 5, roaming the paint. That's the lineup in the game for Memphis. The drive by Anthony. 6 to shoot. And it's Miami with another.
They're playing with a purpose, guys. The big lead becoming bigger. I like the look in their eyes.
And it's on both ends that they've been controlling the action.
Dishes to D'Alembert. They double him with Payne. Here's Randall. Soft touch off the glass.
Excellent work offensively to get that shot attempt into a can't-miss area.
Miami controlling the game. Outside Hardaway. Pulls up on the wing. Again, the Heat good for 2.
You know, there's been some debate over the idea of the quote-unquote hot hand. One study implied that it actually doesn't exist. I always felt as a player that, you know, as soon as I felt the ball go through the hoop a couple times, I was much more likely to make that next one.
Boy, the kind of moments you love to see. Excellent defense leading to a dunk at the other end.
Clark, you got to marvel at the transition game when they've got it clicking. It's really explosive.
High octane for sure.
Yeah, turning defensive pressure into offensive opportunities, that's what it's all about.
For Miami, they've gotten all 3 of their shots to drop here in the fourth quarter. They came out of the break on a roll. Well, that hot hand study, Clark, we were talking about a little bit earlier, they realized it didn't take into account how difficult the shots were. And, you know, hot players take those heat check shots.
Yeah, they do. They do. And not to mention, they draw more defensive attention once they get on the roll. So I think it comes back to common sense. Definitely try to get a hot player the ball, but above all else, you want quality shots.
And Miami making a change here. West is checked in, and he gets it to go.
Clark, they're really struggling guarding that three-point line.
And they're not making up for it with their own shots from deep either, Steve.
In the corner, right with it. And right away, they match it with a three-pointer of their own. Wright's got 5 points now this quarter. The Heat have gotten 4 of their 6 shots to fall so far here in the fourth. A pretty nice efficiency there. And that one's good.
Yeah, guys, it's his consistent shooting that's really helped get his team into a position they're in right now.
Here's Cannon. The Heat came into last season looking to three-peat, and anything less would have been a disappointment.
Yeah, well, you could see that they were focusing on the playoffs last year. The Bobcats didn't really stand a chance against them in round one. It was easy pickings for the Heat.
The first one falls. And so Cannon nails both of them. Miami's gone 2 for 2 from three-point land to start the fourth quarter. Here's Hamilton. And again, Miami with the triple.
Well, to get back to the Heat last year, a lot of teams in the conference didn't really look to be in the same ballpark as Miami in terms of playoff hunger.
They get a hand on it. And again, Miami running the court in transition. Here's West. That drops, and it comes off the assist from Hardaway. Hardaway has got his fourth assist.
Sounding, harassing effort to the defensive end. Very impressive. And they forced quite a few turnovers as a result.
And they're also really getting out in transition and scoring some hoops in the fast break tonight.
And we're about 3 minutes into the fourth quarter. Randall with the bucket. Randall's got 4 points in the quarter.
You know, the Heat did breeze through to the finals, but the three-peat just was not in the cards after they fell to the Spurs. Terrific run nonetheless. 4 consecutive NBA Finals, 2 championships. And quite honestly, who knows how things could have gone if the air conditioning didn't fail or any other twist in that epic series. That air conditioning went down in game 1, folks, if you didn't recall that. But it wasn't anything about air conditioning. The Spurs were super hot and well-oiled and highly motivated. They wanted that trophy.
Miami's gotten in the groove from three-point range. They are 4 for 4 since the third quarter ended. The 19-foot shot, and the shot is good, dropping in off the front of the rim. Hardaway has got 14 points here in the second half. Grizzlies have gotten every shot they've taken so far in the fourth quarter to go in. That's 5 in a row to start the quarter. Randall with the bucket.
They're forcing the ball inside, and it's working beautifully.
Yeah, the defense has been futile here. 5 of the last 6 field goals in the lane.
Here's Hardaway, and Wright pulls it down.
That's one he knows he should have made.
Cannon kicks to Wright. Launches it. Kept alive. Here's Randall. Misses from short range. Miami controlling the game. Hardaway with it. Now Wright defending. Hardaway against Wright. Shoots off the step back. And another basket for Miami.
And one team is just completely outclassing the other tonight. Spirited performance, and it really ignited what is turning out to be a monster win here for the Heat.
And this was one that never really was in doubt, I thought, Stephen Clark. An all-around dominant performance. Clark, and you kind of thought that maybe even going into the game.
I certainly did, and they just cracked it open and made it an NC. No contest.
Yeah, I like that. And a milestone win for the season. This will push their victory total to 20 wins even.
Sometimes, guys, it's hard during the first meeting of a season to get a feel for a team, but these guys came out and made the necessary adjustments, and I think they've got to feel good about going up 1-0 in the season series against the Grizzlies.
This run probably just a case of too little too late.
But at least they're still going after it and playing hard. It would have been very easy to throw in the towel a while ago.
Hardaway from outside. No good. And Memphis the other way now. And it's Memphis on the break. Here's Cannon, guarded by Hardaway. Here's Anthony, and it's good. Assisting on the play was Hardaway.
Well, the fans already heading for the exits, clearly not pleased with the way their home team played here today.
And they shouldn't be pleased. I mean, it's a very well-deserved win, Steve. They came into this building and weren't intimidated at all. They were the aggressors.
Now 8 seconds separating the two clocks.
Well, it looks like their comeback hopes are out the window. I think this lead is safe now.
Yep, this one's a done deal.
And so it looks like the Grizzlies will retain possession here. So it's both teams making substitutions here. Nick Roberts down low. Covered by Hamilton. And he takes it in for the layup off a very nice feed.
The easiest way to do it sometimes is with the bounce pass.
Here's Henry. No good from outside. Here's Kanan. The wide open look here for Terry. Nailed from three-point land. Heaves it up. And out of bounds as the Grizzlies gain possession. And so Miami takes this one by a big...